thoughtful ideas and suggestions for guests and topics.
Great events, programs, and faculty.
All the countries and this
Welcome to this week's segment of Dialogue Houston. I'm your host, Lawrence Payne. To our regular viewing audience, welcome. To those joining us perhaps for the first time here for HCC's TV Dialogue Houston, we can be found now every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 a.m. and again at 6 p.m. and on Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. As always, at the top of the show, let me thank you very much for your calls, emails, and text messages concerning previous guests that we've aired here on HCC TV, but particularly your great ideas for guests, topics, and subjects to be covered on upcoming segments of Dialogue Houston. For after all, this is your community affairs, public affairs show here on HCC TV, now proudly in its 25th season. We have a great show planned for you today. We're going to look at another aspect of Houston Community College, in this case, the Southeast Campus. And I'm happy and proud to have joining me on the set for this segment is Martin Perez, who is the Interim Dean of Student Success, Student Services at the Southeast Campus. Welcome.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you for having me here today.
How are you?
I'm doing great, Larry. I'm, happy to be here. I'm having a lot of fun at the Southeast Campus. Just making students successful.
And Southeast Campus is growing very rapidly, is it not?
It is growing, and so we're proud to say, our enrollment's been up so far, and so, we want to keep that going. It's a lot of initiatives that we have brought in and really working to really get students not just enrolled, but also get them to retain and succeed.
Yes, I've learned the mantra around here is not just enrollment, it's retention.
Correct.
It's retaining.
Retaining, because that's going to help your enrollment also.
Yeah, but it really is through student services particularly and student success. What the campus and the college has been really great at is that undergirding and nurturing thing that it gives each student, so that they can have what they need to stay in school.
Correct.
And working with all the challenges that they may have in their personal individual lives, which is important.
That's true. Because, life doesn't stop.
No.
That's one of the things we tell our students. I have the opportunity to walk into our new student orientation classes, and when I get my title, Dean of Student Success, I have to tell them that's what it means, success, your success.
Yep.
You're here for a degree, certificate or an associate's degree to either get a career, go into the workforce, or transfer to the university. So we want to make sure you get there. And in student services, that's what we're here for.
Right.
We want to make sure that whatever's going on, again, because life does not stop.
Right.
We want to make sure that you're successful.
And because you have such an age variance of people coming back and learning new skills, new profession, you have so many things to take into consideration. To truly, each individual student has to be it's an individualized plan, basically.
Exactly.
Because you have to work with all the challenges they may have. Some have more, some have less, some are younger, some are older, but that's the beautiful thing about what we do here.
It is, and that's why I think we're also moving into more what we call intrusive advising, or, because we want to get in there. When you walk into our doors, let's ask those questions, because that's going to help us formulate your plan for the future.
Right.
Formulate that plan for your, again, success. We keep saying that, because the more we know, so we're not being, let's say, nosy.
Right.
We just have to know to make you
the more you know, the more you can help them.
And everyone's different.
Right.
So we got to make sure we're ready for whatever they throw at us when we are ready.
And we've had some students on that have kind of told their story and their history and their life story. You wouldn't believe some of the things, the challenges that some of these young people are dealing with.
Exactly.
Stuff that we never had to deal with.
We don't. And, and then we're like being in Houston, of course, we see students from all over the place, like all different ages.
Yep.
So we may have some who come from abusive families and abusive homes. So we have resources that we can assist them with.
Yep.
Again, if it's personal at home or if something going on at school. And that's one of the things we let the students know is that, again, we're here for you and we want you to know that. So when we talk to our students, we offer so many resources.
Yep.
The main thing we try to let them know is that recognize who I am. Right. Recognize who this person is. Because if you need something, we know how to guide you to where it is you need.
And the stories, again, I got to go back to them because I've been touched. Just the basic things we take for granted. Housing insecurity, food insecurity.
Right.
Some kids don't know where they're going to spend the night tonight. They don't know where their next meal's coming from, but they're determined to get this education. That's why I've always loved that drive and motivation that they have. I'm going to figure out how to stay in school. I'm going to make this happen, but I'm on this tightrope, and I'm at the end of my tightrope.
You're right, and that's why we want to make sure. Look, whatever's going on, you talk to us. You let us know. because whatever it is you need. Last semester, it was raining, and one of my advisors was there. Okay, this student is homeless. They're
Right.
wet, so she's back looking for something for her to wear because
Yeah.
to be ready for
Right,
classes. So
right.
they do have all these challenges in life, and we want to make sure that what can we do? So we try to set up maybe a clothing, put some clothing aside,
Right,
take some
right.
things in. So again, just like the food drives, we want to make sure we're ready. If you're hungry, we want to
Yep.
make sure we have something for you.
What's the number one kind of, you think, misconception about students coming to a community college these days? Because there's a lot of, people,
Right.
they form their opinions usually based upon whatever things, and usually wrong anyway, so.
A lot of the things that I've seen, I've been working in higher education, 19 years in community colleges,
Right.
and one of the things is that they look at it maybe in not like a university,
Right.
where you go to the university and it's college.
Yep.
No, we have to let them know this is,
Yep.
this is college. This is where you're
Yep.
going to come. This is where you can get your skills and you're going to learn,
Yep.
and it's something that's going to help you in the future. So a lot of times we have to break that down and let students know, okay, we're going to set our standards high.
Right.
So don't expect to come here, because I've dealt with students, like you're saying, being
Right.
in my role, they've come to me and they're just talking about the professor, how he's expecting this from me, expecting
Yeah.
that from me.
Yeah.
And then when they finish, I look at them and I say, it sounds like he just has some high expectations of you,
Mm-hmm.
these standards of you. And remember that one student
like
looked
we
at
had
me.
when we were in school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She looked at me and
Right.
she was like, well, I guess you're right. I guess I have to get that off my
Right.
chest. So we're not lowering our standards because we're going to prepare them for the real world,
Yeah.
for if they want to transfer to the university. So sometimes they come in with that mindset thinking, okay, is this a real school or is it just somewhere where an extension of high school?
Right.
And it's not.
And some of the tragedies that go with that, though, is some of the young people who come to HEC, who come to college, the high schools they come from have not really prepared them and did them a great service. Some of them are reading level, some of them they can't, it's almost like, bless their hearts, they got a degree,
Right.
but the degree really hasn't helped them move to the next level of being in a college setting.
And the Chronicle just reported the HISD, or the higher ed report card for high
Right,
schools.
right.
And so we're looking at that at our college here,
Yep.
the southeast side, because that's letting us know these are our students coming here.
Yeah.
So we're starting to look at programs, working with our president and everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to assist these students? We're looking at some weekend programs
Right.
to maybe something to help
Kind of
the
get you immersed in the feeling,
Exactly.
get some,
Because if you look at the report card, it's going to tell you these are our students.
Right.
They're coming into
Exactly.
Houston Community College.
Yeah.
So it's telling us, okay, if we're going to retain them.
Right.
We can enroll them. That's the easy part.
Right.
If we're going to retain them, what is it that we need to do?
Yeah.
So we're being proactive.
Yeah.
We're not going to wait till they get there. Now we got a problem.
Right.
We're going to try to take care of that before they come in. Again, going back to the intrusive advising, being proactive and seeing,
Yeah.
okay, how can we prepare them to be successful?
Yeah, the frustrated high school student who graduates and is frustrated because they can't read or can't read well
Right.
becomes a frustrated community college student, because
Correct.
that frustration that goes with not being able to read many times is overwhelming.
Yes. And
And-
sometimes they say, well, I can read, but it's that comprehension
Yes.
piece that a lot
Yeah.
of times that they don't understand. Yes, we can all read, but do you really understand what you're reading? And that's,
Right.
again, another sell that we have to make to these students. Because when they come in and they take the sex initiative, they're thinking, well, I can read. Well, yes, and then they fail the reading portion,
Right.
and it's like, well, why did I fail?
Yeah.
And so, of course, we have to explain and kind of what that is. So they don't think that, okay, we're not doing this on purpose.
yeah.
We just have to know, and we're going to teach you. We're a school. But I tell all of my students, don't be scared that you come into college and thinking, okay, it's going to be hard.
Right.
No, we're a school, and we're here to teach you.
And what I've loved about the assistance that we give to students and this hands-on, personal kind of one-on-one, many students we have steered, yeah, you came here to eventually go on to a four-year college or to get your associate's degree,
Right.
but you have this wonderful skill and knack in this certain area. Do you know that there's a certificate program that you can do in a year?
Right.
And that you can finish that certificate program and get a job leaving this college
Yes.
making $60,000, $70,000 off the bat?
Right. And we have some programs there at these Southeast that we're pushing, we call one and done. These are classes or certificates or courses you can finish in one semester.
Yes.
So, I'm working with everyone from the beginning. So we're trying to set up a cohort.
Right.
So we get this group
Right.
that's in the one and done to make sure they're enrolled in all the it's 4 courses
Right.
or 5 courses. And then we have everyone playing in our career services, because it's truly not one and done. If we get you in,
Yeah.
get you the class,
Nothing breeds success like success, right? If I do
Yes.
something well and pass and get that one done, I get the certificate. Oh, I did this. I can now move to the next.
And that's what we wanted to do. And of course, we always sell this as building blocks.
Yeah.
If you finish this, then you can build on to a certificate, which leads to an associate's. And if you want to continue,
Yeah.
we got all these MOUs with
Right.
University of Houston downtown.
You got more articulated agreements than
Exactly,
anybody else.
the Bachelor's of Associates of Applied Science. And
Right.
so we're always trying to let these students know, one of my things is take it one semester at a time.
Yep.
Because if you look at 160 hours, it's a big number. 60 hours, it's a big number. If you look at one semester,
Yeah.
you can do that.
If I pass that, I did this, I can do it. Well, okay, I can do the next one. If I did this one, I can do the next one.
And that's what it is, So it's always trying again to, they come in very stressed because, students,
Oh, yeah.
college students are the most stressful students out there.
Yeah.
So we try to let them know, look, just one semester at a time.
Yeah.
And then my favorite thing is saying, one day you wake up, if they're the younger kids,
Yeah.
students, you're gonna be 20 years old. You have your associates or you won't.
Right.
One day you wake up, you'll be 30 without your degree. And just keep waking up.
Yeah.
And so you want to wake up one day and have this career and this degree, or do
Yeah.
you want to keep waking up wanting and wishing I could
Right.
have, should have done?
Right.
So I like to always motivate the students
Yeah.
and let them know, like, just one semester at a time, never give up and keep coming.
And we invest in you, and you invest in us, and together we make this happen, right?
That's it. That's
it's a
how we're
partnership.
working together.
It really is a relationship.
Yes.
So we're going to take a small pause and break. We're going to come back and continue this wonderful dialogue. It is a relationship. It's a relationship built on mutual trust and respect and lots of other things, but it's getting, as Martin said, getting to know each student's story personally. The more I know about you, the more I can help you. The more I understand your situation, I can help you. The more I understand what path you walk every day and what you have to do just to get here, I can help you. Because that's all we want you to succeed. We want you to be successful. We want you to make it as comfortable and easy as you can. When I say easy, make it doable. Every barrier we try to take away, every hesitation we try to work with, you can do it here at HCC because you have the support. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
HCC. So many careers, so little tuition. Register today at hccs.edu/now.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
I don't know an industry today that doesn't rely on some amount of coding to run their business. Coding is the 21st century equivalent of the English language. And our particular flavor of this is the iOS Coding and Design School. And Apple's been very supportive and in fact joined with us to roll out the start of this Swift programming initiative. So it's a great opportunity to combine creativity with science and technology, contributing to this app economy.
Because Houston Community College is the wonderful supplier of many of our workforce here for the greater Houston area, we work every day with corporations and companies to really assess what they need. What are the skill sets they need for the employee that they're going to be hiring? We have multiple, and the list is endless, of memorandums of understandings, of articulated agreements with colleges and universities. We try to do everything we can to find the right fit and match for the student in their seeking of their career and their degrees. To do that, though, as Martin Perez, our wonderful interim dean of student success, student services at Southeast Campus, was telling us before we took the break, the more you know about that student, the better you can help them.
Exactly. And that's what, again, when it comes back to, we call it intrusive advising or being proactive advising, they call it sometimes. You know, some people have this, like we were talking about earlier, we're not a university, and they think, well, I need this degree from a four-year college.
Right.
Well, as we're learning, sometimes a workforce degree can just get you into the door and get you a good job. And the way I like to, let's say, to sell these programs sometimes is like, it doesn't mean you have to stop. It means that you can start, and if you need to support your family, if you got to feed your family, you know, then just get a certificate, and then we can build on that, and you can increase and do better in your position, and you can grow in your position. And so, you know, we're great. I mean, I've been talking a lot with our port and the maritime.
Yes.
You know, we have that at the Southeast Campus, our logistics and the maritime piece of that. And I've been setting up some group tours to go down the chip channel. And as I'm doing this, because I came from the northeast side, now at the southeast side, I'm getting excited thinking, okay, I want to do a tour down the ship channel.
Right.
So I set one up for a couple of weeks for a group of students that are there this summer. You know, they could be starting freshmen in the coming year. So working with the port, and we're going to talk about the different parts of the job. It's not, when you think of the port, you're thinking of working maybe in machinery or doing something.
All kinds of jobs.
Exactly. And that's what we want to sell to the student, and that's what we want to, you know, say, hey, you can have your dream. You know, if you want to be a captain, let's say on one of these tugboats or something like that. You know, there's a captain now that they were talking to me, just talking to the people who work at the port, saying she's a captain, but she went to Houston Community College, she got her certificate, and then she was working at the port. Next thing you know, she just moved up, and now she's the captain of one of these tugboats or one of these boats that's there going down the ship. So your dream doesn't have to be like, okay, it's going to take me forever. Again, I go back to that, one semester at a time, 1 year at a time, and the next thing you know, you're going to be where you want to be.
And when you talk about maritime, because we've had that segment on before, this is where I turn to the camera and usually try to say, do you know what a pilot makes?
Yes.
Do you know how much money a pilot makes on that, out there on that ship channel?
Exactly.
That's a job to aspire to, as they say.
It is, you know, and, you know, I've been in the Navy, you know, whenever we pulled into port, you know, the ship is on the way. Those pilots are climbing aboard your ship, helping you navigate, so you make it. And so, and it's a very, very critical job, you know, that to navigate, sometimes help these large tankers and
they can't
ships.
move through the channel without a pilot.
Exactly, and so they're going to pay you some good money, you know, and there's where in
it's
Houston,
a safety thing. You got to really know what you're doing.
Yes, you do, and in Houston, that's where a lot
like
of the money is.
threading a needle sometimes.
Exactly, so we're trying to let, okay, our students coming in, this is your community, this is your home.
And something you said in the break struck me too, is to help the student understand the difference between a job and a career.
Correct.
You may start off with a job because you need a job.
Yes.
And you get the certification and you get that job, you get a paycheck, you get employment. Then you have the time, the luxury to kind of figure out, what do you really want to do?
Right.
Because this may not be it. This may be just that job, that paycheck.
Right.
But to think about a career and the long-term longevity of that career, you got to kind of sometimes think about that, work with it, feel it out.
Exactly.
Because I think that's a big difference in the mindset sometimes, the way people approach things.
They do. You know, I think maybe, you know, at a community college, you know, we don't get some of those students who, let's say, had the scores to make it straight to the university. Maybe they weren't your straight A honor students at the high schools.
Right.
So, of course, and maybe they come from families, hardworking families, and that's what they know is hard work.
Yes.
You know, like for myself, growing up was finish high school, you can get a good job at the plants.
Yeah.
You know,
that was it.
That was
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's what we had to do.
Or
you
the
know?
post office.
Exactly.
Those
you know,
two were kind of
well, if you worked at the post office, you were really making it, you know, really wealthy. So, I mean, but those, and so sometimes we have, like you're saying, break those barriers. I see that as change. We have to, you know, our families, you know, you're going to my alma mater.
Right.
That's not true. So, I mean, come to the community college, come to Houston Community College, and you can start that new within your family, that new culture. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to
Kind of break the tradition. Yeah,
Exactly, and I think those are the students that we have,
Right.
and those are the students we want to work with. So get into the maritime. We have our material science, welding.
Oh, yeah.
Already know welding. When I
Yes.
talk to him about welding, he's so passionate. I'm like, man, you make me want to be a welder, because that's a job when you think of hot, working with,
Yeah.
and heat
Yeah.
and hard work.
But it pays well.
Oh, very well. And then when he talks about it, I mean, that's who we need selling these,
Yeah.
because it's a good career. My brother-in-law was
Yeah.
supported his whole family from being a welder. So you can do all these great. And then we have, of course, I came from the Northeast side with our petrochemical, courses over there. And
Right.
those are also, where you can come in, you come out, you work hard, but you know what? You're going to make a good living.
Yep.
You're going to be able to take care of your family. And that's what we want to do
That's
at the
really
end.
the bottom line.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And enjoy our jobs.
Yep.
Not look at it as work,
Right.
but look at it as the career. Like I said, since I've been in Southeast, I've been having fun. I look at it as the career. I got the support of my president and coming in and
Right.
support of the other COE deans there of business and logistics and material science and just different things, and just working together. How can we promote? Of course, I look at Southeast. How can we promote? And so we support these
Right.
programs that we got this summer. We have the academic bridge, is what we call that, going on at our Fraga campus. And so we got a little over 20 students that were able to come in and TSI ready or not.
Right.
And so we're working with them. Right now what we're doing is going to be finishing up soon. So now what we're working is to make sure they're ready.
Get you ready.
Ready
Yeah.
for the fall.
Yeah.
We're working in the high schools. We're trying to build those relationships, our community partners. We're
Right.
starting with the high schools, talking with our community centers. So we're trying to build a pipeline so when students come in, we can ease that pipeline.
Right.
So when they come in, they're ready to go. And that's what we're trying to do. So, and I think it's been really successful. And we want to see how can we make it better and really strengthen like the east side of Houston.
Right.
What can we do? And it's been, I won't say it's challenging because it's something they've been doing for a while.
Right.
It's just keeping it going and sustaining. And
Exactly.
then you always got to see what can we do to make it better.
Yep.
That's how I think.
No, I think
I
it's
like
important.
to think, yeah.
And I think it also, as you were talking, it has to be both a fit and a match.
Correct.
A job, a career has to be both a fit and a match for you and for the employer.
Yes.
And you have to understand that sometimes it just, much as you may want it to work, and it's not going to work because that's not the right. It's like a cog in the wrong
Yes.
sprocket.
And that's true. That's
you know.
anywhere you go.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
you got to be happy. And it's always like if you're not happy, then find what makes you
in
happy.
the long term, you got to be happy.
When I talk to students and I say, okay, look, they're like, I was talking to just this weekend. This one student, she wants to get into fitness and exercise and nutrition, but she was going into nursing. Her family wanted her to be a nurse.
Yes.
Because, and then she was telling me that her mom bought her a little doll with a nurse and said, that's going to be you in the future. Oh, wow. And so we're talking.
No pressure there, right?
No pressure.
Right.
We're talking and
Right.
she's like, but this is what I want to do.
Right.
And so I have to tell her, then you got to follow your passion. At the
Yeah.
same time, number one, even if you want to get into the health field,
gotta follow your-
nutrition,
gotta
it's
follow your
part of,
passion.
what you want to do. So, it's again, follow your heart at the
Yeah.
same time. And one thing I say, if you're passionate about it, don't worry about the money. It'll
Yeah.
come, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It may be a job in the beginning.
Yep.
You may have to do things that ain't exciting.
Right.
But after a while, this thing
But we all
it's-
started somewhere.
Exactly, and that's how with her, it's the same thing, like, I wanted to be an artist.
Right.
And I thought, okay, you know what, I can't make any money being an artist, so I better pick another career.
Right.
I know within the Hispanic culture, our family was, we knew two things about school, college. We couldn't afford it, but if you did go, you came out making good money.
Right.
And so that's why, again, it's breaking that cultural mentality that when they come in here saying, we can't afford this.
Yeah.
And let them know, number one, again, yes, you can. There's scholarships, we have, the financial aid through the national and the
Yeah.
Texas. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of different ways to get students so they're not worried, they're not stressed.
Yeah.
Because again, they got to keep, life doesn't stop.
Right.
And so so they can follow their dreams and complete their goals. And that's, I think, what my job is. That's how I see it, is to make sure these students are successful and they get their goals, because again, we all have had dreams.
Yes.
And then what I tell them is we all have a story.
Yep.
And one day we get to get up here and like now and say,
Yep.
this is my story, you know, this is where I came
Right,
from,
right,
you know,
right.
from 8 brothers and sisters and the only one with a college degree. I mean, the stories that we can tell, you know, and my parents were migrant workers, and this is where I am at
Oh
today.
yeah, some great stories. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've
and
heard
that's-
them right here on this set. We've had some students over the years. Yeah.
And that's what we tell them. You know, I had a conference one time, a student leadership conference, and the theme was, you know, do we all have a story? You know, and it started by my president getting up and talking about how growing up in the streets of Philadelphia and
Right.
different types of things. And I said, you know what, this is a good thing. So and that's how we kind of like let everyone kind of share a piece of their story. So again, they can kind of see and say, one day you'll be able to tell your story.
Yep.
And so again, and now another thing I tell students is life is like a book. There's different chapters. So if you're going through some hard times right now, look at it as a chapter. It's going to
Yeah.
end, and then you
Good
start
point.
a new chapter.
Yep.
You know, and then you may be in school, one chapter, then you get married, one chapter, you're
Yep.
having your kids, one chapter, you know. And, you know, then unfortunately we go through, you know, deaths of loved ones and family members, and those are chapters
part
and
of it.
experiences.
Yeah.
And that's how I see things. And so, of course, that's how we try to say, again, I look at my job as just motivating, being there, looking for the success, letting them know, yeah, it's not going to be easy sometimes.
Yep.
But that's what we're here for, to make sure we're your support team. And that's what we try to do. And I think to me, student services is one of the best jobs. You know, I think I go back with some faculty members, some of the professors, you know, no, we got the best job because we're teaching. I'm like, yeah, but
Right.
when y'all make them cry and upset, guess who they come and talk to?
Exactly.
You know, so,
Yeah.
but I have to say, I've enjoyed, you know, working in student services, you know, and I love working at the Southeast campus and with the student body there
Yep.
and with the student support services staff there who are just, you know, dedication. I always say thank you for your passion for the students, your dedication to the students, because without that, they wouldn't need us, number one,
Right,
you know,
right.
but without that, I mean, you know, we wouldn't see what we see every day. When we go, graduation.
Right.
I mean, you know, when you see these just, it may get tiring because there's just thousands of students walking through, but that's what we're there for. You know, and then we're not even looking at the other 1,000 or 2 or 3 that
Right.
didn't, you know,
Right.
participate in graduation.
Right.
But that's what we're here for, and that's what we want to do. And so I think as long as I can keep doing it, you know, that I'm afforded that opportunity, I'm going to try my best.
We got to thank you for your passion.
All right,
And,
brother.
and commitment. They're lucky
Thank
to
you.
have you. The
Thank
students
you.
are lucky to have you at Southeast Campus. Martin Perez, look him up. You know where to find him. The information was on the screen, or will be on the screen. I'm going to get out of here for right now, but I just want to say that this is what it's all about. It's that kind of unconditional love that's undergirding and nurturing and supporting to help make sure that we help each student to be retained in their quest for that life, for that education, for that being able to take care of themselves and their family eventually. The world of work, I just want to mention real quick, there's a thing called ACT, A-C-T, the testing group. They have this wonderful map called the world of work. The world of work is probably the best thing to look at. What's your passion? What's your skill? What jobs matches your passion and skills to give you a real idea of what might be possible for you? Because it has to be, I've learned in my career, it has to be a fit and a match. We're going to get out of here until next week. We look forward to you joining us here on ACC Dialogue Houston. Until then, as always, peace, power, and love.